Hello, hello. So many people that I have met and worked at my day job still do not know simple digital product tools, which I had assumed at this point, 2 to 3 years later, that many of these tools were universal. Everybody knew about them. But the truth is, the thing you're really good at, the thing that you obsessed about, the thing that you know so easily is often something that other people have no idea of what it is. And you're explaining higher level concepts when they just want to know how to build an offer, how to create something to make money, how to make extra income for their day job. And here's the thing about entrepreneurship. You make money when you help other people make money. So it's kind of backwards. You think, oh, how will people trust me if I haven't made money yet? Well, then once you actually make money, you realize, well, I have made money. So that limiting belief goes away. And then once you've made money, you move on to the next level. Okay, I need to get clients. Okay, I got another client. And then that limiting belief goes away. And then suddenly it's just a battle of curing and conquering all of these limiting beliefs. So when you create anything like a document, okay, a GBT, an engine, a course, a masterclass, you can package it and sell it to somebody almost instantly now. You don't have to like even keep talking about it every day. You can have something that you've already created and you can give it to somebody and they can pay for access to it or they could get it for free. I created a course called From Gigs to Systems to help creative people understand how to use one of the tools that I use called Beacons, and it allows you to create digital products and guides. And what I love the most about it is that you do not have to have it in your link in bio. You can just use it and you can connect it to your Instagram, your YouTube, and you can track analytics there. I had a little bit of problems with Instagram where I was learning how to run ads and I ghosted my page. And then after ghosting my page, apparently I got restricted and I couldn't run ads because I had already created the account. This was through the time where I was going through big transformation. I didn't really understand certain business models, how I was showing up online. And then as I evolved, it became abundantly clear that the language you use really matters and being aware of like entering specific tools before you're ready matters because everything is going to cost money. Okay. What I'm learning now are that tools where you are on like payment plans and you're paying more money for them as your inputs change, as like how much you want to do changes, that can get very expensive. It can be great for the business owner, but it could be really bad for the person purchasing the tool that started at the level of free. So what I like to help people do is at least get to the level of extracting their founder signal so they are able to create a simple, repeatable offer to make money. And then from there, it can grow into a real business model. And from a real business model, you can have consulting work, you could have courses, you can have deeper level frameworks and books. And when all of these moving parts connect together to you and your value system, you're able to have everything interconnected with a real business. Is your value system the business? No. It is connected to that painful problem that you can solve, and the Founder Signal engine helps you unlock it. I've shared it for free on this YouTube channel, and I'm deciding today what I want to talk about to help people understand the power of finding your signal, creating a simple, repeatable offer like building websites and getting clients. Getting clients has been the hardest challenge for me, but then I took my mentor's advice and realized if you are able to give first and you are able to reach out to warm leads, meaning people that you know, people that already have a business, they're already operational, they just are a little bit scattered or certain things are leaking, leaking in the bucket analogy. Business owners all have leaks. They all have leaks, but they can't patch all of the leaks all at the same time. When you're able to patch more of them, they're going to want to work with you for longer. When you're able to patch one quickly, they're going to build immediate trust. So when we want to build trust with people, we give them a quick win, we solve a problem for them, we get paid for it, and then we give free value because they're already in our ecosystem. We find ways to retain them through our content, through our offers, through our services. But everything you do should not be free. Everything that you do can be a tier, a package, a higher level framework that can be monetized. So how do we concise these things all together so they make sense and they don't sound abstract? And we move forward into problem solution content. And we're able to orient people with us every day on YouTube. So let's go here. Just a second. So I go to the source system, I would say back where we're at now, we want to re-anchor our future signal. So our future signal is going to allow us to anchor in the timeline that we want to, so we are not stuck in old levels of evolution. So this isn't just a mindset shift, this is a technology upgrade. So we are moving from mirroring to mapping to channeling to transmitting. Transmitting isn't louder, it's clearer, and you will feel and notice the difference if it's happening through you. For a minute, I think I lost my channel and I got it back. So this is kind of like what I created, and at the time it felt a little bit more internal, but it's for my audience to understand resonance. When we mirror, sometimes that's like a marketing strategy to sell something. We're doing the framework, the scripts, the lessons to kind of make sure the model works. But to make it our own, we want to map. We want to have a distinct pattern and voice that is ours. And we want to work with AI and tools when we're able to get to the level of channeling and transmitting, because that will get us to legacy leadership. You don't need to ascend, you need to stabilize where you are. Mirroring teaches recognition, mapping teaches clarity, channeling teaches trust, and transmitting teaches stewardship. So let's watch this one. Future signal and evolution of a visionary. Every signal has a cycle and every visionary has phases. We are not going to have mentors and guides forever. They are going to come through and we are going to experience them through a specific cycle at a specific phase in our journey. And the power of this is if we ask better questions, we get better answers. So what does this mean when it comes to mentorship and creating our own offers? Well, it means that instead of searching on the feed for who is the most visible, who has the most attention, we actually use the intention more deeply behind the search, utilizing the tools that we have. For example, I found my mentor, one of them that I just followed for the past 5 to 6 months to learn strategy, to learn how to take people with you, to learn phases and cycles. And they were able to create over $70,000 worth of income for their retainer and their strategy and their system. That was like for only a 5 to 6 month period. And it was a sprint. Whereas I'm doing more of a deep dive, I was able to come up above the water and observe the sprint. So I understand how to position myself when I come up to the new land to communicate and share this course with you. As creators, we have social media feeds, and we're going to get into this more deeply in lessons to come. But if you think about each feed and each platform as a level of consciousness, or more specifically, a rhythm architecture, you're going to understand that some phases of your life require different rhythms. And as we get older, we might not want to go as fast, but we can go deeper. And when you go deeper, more protection is required, but you can create books and you can speak on stages and you can have original thought be protected because it isn't scattered across the feed for others to consume, distort, and copy. And we're going to talk about what happens when people are in survival mode and they want to learn how to make money online and they want to monetize their gifts. And naturally, as children, what we do is we mirror each other to learn, and it is not something to be feared. It is something to be understood so we can understand and have conscious awareness to step out of the mirror. It's not just a mindset shift, it's a soul technology upgrade. We're going to talk about mirroring as the first level of this framework, and the mirror signal method is a course that I created for you to step out of the mirror and understand from a subconscious level what is happening in your reality. Mirroring is what happens when other people are searching for their own signal, and we want to understand that other people are trying to understand and be on our frequency, and we do this vice versa with other people. And then it goes as deep as what people experience on platforms like Instagram, where they almost like look into the platform itself for ideas. And what I'm here to share is we don't need to do that. Instagram is really just a billboard. If you think of like a billboard for a restaurant that is representing you and what you have to bring to the table, that is what it is. And we can build businesses with billboards, but it's more strong to build businesses with television channels, like platforms like YouTube allow us to have. So we're always channeling upward to that architecture because that is where our content is going to be seen and understood in the clearest way because of the search, the way the platform is designed, and because of the architecture there. So you can be very new and post an offer there and have 10 videos leading to your offer and do substantially better than somebody that was trying to build an audience on Instagram with 100 videos, not having success or being able to monetize. Because think about it like a library versus a concert. If you are talking at the concert, you may get attention, especially if you're good at capturing attention. But if you are not really good at that and you prefer to work in quiet spaces and have others come to you, then the library is a much better option. We also compare it to TV because people can look at platforms like YouTube and say, oh, I can have channels just like a television series. That is also a way to look at it. Library architecture and TV channels, where people intentionally go there to search and change the channel. Whereas at a concert, you may be able to go to a different stage, but you can't leave the proximity of the facility you are at that easily. Mirroring is drawn to creators reposting, echoing, and instinct-led action. So if you think of mirroring at a concert, somebody says something or they do the wave, everybody's going to do the wave because everyone's doing it and it feels safe and we feel connected when we do that. And it's just creating this resonance that is allowing other people to feel like we are shifting consciously together. And the outcome from mirroring is you can stop and remember who you are, because once you embody what someone else is doing, you can really discern, okay, where did this come from? Was this conscious? And is this part of my story or not? Mapping turns chaos into clarity, so it makes your inner world legible. Once you are able to map something in the form of a framework or a chart or a graph or an image that allows your subconscious to feel safe, then it is easier to step out of the mirror and step into your signal, because the universe is always giving us signals to connect with our own. It's really just about cutting more things in order to hear what is coming through. Mapping is pattern recognition and voice discovery. So when we map by frameworks, documentation, we are able to connect energy behind words, because we are now adding the sound and the visual component to learning as opposed to mirroring alone. We are able to identify what our frequency is defining, and we can make invisible things become more legible. Channeling is flow with direction. So when you channel something, it's when you have an intuitive idea and it comes through you, or you have just a no ego explanation for something. Someone says something and you say something else, and there's no ego involved, it's channeling. And when we incorporate mapping into creating offers, think about it this way. You're creating your own school community, your own begins community, and you're anchoring with visuals for the offer. And when you anchor with visuals, you're able to start channeling because your subconscious is now involved. It's getting involved in the architecture of your work, and it has more of a say and more of a safety feeling. And the feeling is the secret. So if the feeling is involved while you build, then it's going to allow channeling to come through. Channeling is co-creation with the signal and the intuition and the higher level consciousness. It's creating from alignment, deeper intelligence, and it's using AI as a mirror, not a crutch. So those intuitive downloads that you have, you can now use AI to ask, what does this download mean? And when you do that, you're able to name things in your reality. You're able to name the distortion. You're able to create your own frameworks and offers. And those definitions of what you have created and those understandings will always flow back to you when you have been the channeler and the creator of them. That is how we add to the conversation. That is how we connect to source, when we are able to channel in a safe, contained space and connect to our own signal. Platforms will always, always, always distort our signal. We will go there and share, and it's really easy to get caught in the loops of validation, of proving, of wanting to be seen, wanting to feel safe being seen. But if you started to feel safe being seen in your container, suddenly what happens is a shift where the mirroring and the mimicry goes away, and you wake up in the morning and you look forward to working on your own creations, because it'll give you the opportunity to channel and connect more deeply to your own source. And the deeper you can connect, the more you can connect the dots of synchronicities that are occurring in your life. You can manifest things faster, and people will start to mirror you because they won't understand how you gained this newfound awareness and clarity. Okay, so that's all I'm going to share for today because I ran out of time. If you want to be one of the first to watch the Source System, which is a living curriculum course, you can join the waitlist below. I'm going to be releasing parts of it, so my audience that has kind of seen a little bit about it so far can start watching it. And I have learned that while I used it as a containment layer to create these, like I had a rhythm, okay? So what that rhythm is, I kind of explained it in some of my videos, but I explained it inside the course too. It's like using AI as a translation layer for what's coming through, right? Taking your pain, turning it into power, creating frameworks and names, and then putting that into something like a school container, adding pictures, videos, everything. And I didn't not read scripts. Like I still read, okay, what am I going to say in this video for each one? And I integrated it in each one because scripts are not preventing us from integrating. They are the starting point before integration. So maybe it comes through. You forget, you go back to the information and then you read it, you say it out loud, you use voice text, you have the energy flow through you, then you communicate, and then it starts to form a deeper level of memory inside your subconscious. And this is what I'm getting at. When we do this on platforms, we can also experience this, but it can be hard for people in survival mode to stay in that open channel state. It can feel really uncomfortable. And I'm not a doctor, but I'm somebody that I've documented the shifts now for probably years. So I feel different today. I feel more conscious today, and that's all that matters. But how do we stay in the open channel state and stay aligned with the business that we're building to make money? We need to make sure that we're communicating in places where we can be heard, seen, and understood and trusted. And if you are able to also have a clean website that you can use to give your audience clarity faster on the business that you are building, on what you offer, how to interconnect all of the moving parts, it's going to be a lot easier for people to be able to pay attention, to want to pay attention, to understand that it makes sense. Because not everybody is building the same. Not everybody is building the same. And there's no right or wrong way. There's just the way that creates clarity for you and for other people. Okay, so Done With You is coming. Right now, I offer Done With You Google Maps presence services. If you want to get on Google Maps or you currently have a business and you need help. Why would founders want to get on Google Maps? Well, it's another layer of interconnection. So it's connecting your business through AI, through tools, through search, and that's powerful. That's how you get ranked. That's how people start to remember you off platforms. So my service right now is, you probably have seen it. So this is my website. This is the done for you layer. And I've had a few people learn how to build websites from communicating with me, which is great. I'm really glad that they are now operational with a clean website that is amazing, even without working with me. But this is for people that don't have time and they do need help with their website, or maybe they know a little bit how to build websites. They don't have time. They'd rather be writing their books, speaking their podcasts, building things that compound, which I get it. If you want to build things that compound, a website is just one layer, but it's an important one. It's kind of like having somebody proofread your exam, before you send it out there. So your business may not have a visibility problem. This is the case for most people. While I was off platforms, I just noticed a lot of people ranking their game up on short form, which is amazing. I struggled with short form and realized that it's just my energy that needs to be in alignment. Once that's in alignment, a short form is easier. You could just use scripts, guidance systems for understanding how to create problem solution content and speaking to the market. And once you get there, it can integrate. Just like the source system integrated for me. It's more of a learning how to learn strategy. Figure out what's blocking you, chemically maybe, or figure out what is preventing you from making progress. And once you get into that open channel state where you have clarity, then it comes down to, are you speaking in more abstraction, or are you selling a practical service for your audience? Are you solving a painful problem that they have? And it's going to feel weird at first if you create a new Instagram, for example, and you're creating problem solution content, or you're becoming a consultant. Like, how do you position yourself? You know? Well, you keep talking about the problem, how you have the solution, and then you show people what you do. And you use proof as repeatable value systems for trust. So we had college, we get a degree, we have that piece of paper, right? But we're not walking around with that piece of paper. But when you have a digital course, you have an offer, you work with clients, and you have that proof, we can actually have that on our websites. And that will create nervous system regulation for our audience, more trust for them, so they feel safe to reach out. So I help with offer, message, or framework clarity if you need that, because I've created many trained operators that help me think differently, trust, proof, and positioning. So I help you create testimonials, put them on your website and digital system, clarity, customer journey, and next step friction. So this is a more of a deep dive. The opportunity analysis, I give you a free video, like a Loom video on where the leaks are and what we can do to fix them. We choose the right path. So whether you're a small business owner or early stage founder, we figure out the best path for you. Maybe you need help with integrating AI into your business. Maybe you need a clean website. We figure out the best path. Scope and approval, we create a clean scope for you. So builds start at $9.97, consulting starts at $4.97, and then we create a way to work together. The content and assets, we gather your copy, services, proof, photos, exact information, and assets, and figure out what the website can communicate in order to make sure that it aligns, or vice versa, fix those things. Design and build, I organize the approved information into a clear conversion ready website and complete the build. Review and launch, you review it briefly and request revisions, and the site is tested and launched with the agreed timeline, usually 1 to 3 weeks time. The longest timeline I had was the very end of 3 weeks. We were operational. This is the client that I had for a concrete business. He's the very first client that I had that was paid. So you could visit that on my website. I shared it in another video too. And Two Worlds, One Vision. Well, this is for anybody that's like a former artist that's trying to become an entrepreneur. You don't have to lose your soul in order to become an entrepreneur, but entrepreneurship is more about problem solution content. So you're going to find a problem and bring the solution, whether that's through SaaS products or talking head videos and community layers. You're going to just do that. And even as an artist, you can already do that. So this talks about my journey from that level to here, and then I have frequently asked questions. So you can request your analysis here. Okay, that's it for today. This next week, we'll be diving more into the Signature Framework Lab.